You're listening to The Wedding Whisperer with Sarah Burton of Simply Love Studio in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm going to guess that you have probably been to Manchester Music Hall for a super fun concert before, but you maybe haven't been there for a wedding or event. But they do offer that, and we are chatting with Whittney Johnson today, who is the general manager there, and we are going to talk about how they do weddings and events and how that is different from what you would normally see if you go for a concert. Whittney, thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
How long have you been with Manchester Music Hall now?
I've been there for about a year and a half.
Okay. And then for those that maybe don't know a little bit of history about Manchester, I knew it as Buster's.
Sure.
I went there to see Gavin DeGraw probably 15 years ago. And then tell me a little bit about the history of the building, how far it dates back, and what it used to be.
Sure. Yeah. The building was actually built in the 1800s. It was part of the William Tarr distillery. They used it for a bourbon storage warehouse. It's right there near the train track, so it was easy for load in and out. It's at the corner of Oliver Lewis and Newtown Pike, for those that don't know, right at the beginning of the Distillery District. So it's easily accessible from downtown and New Circle, so it's a great location.
And then beside you is the Grand Reserve that a lot of people will know. And then on the other side of that is the brand new hotel, the Manchester.
Yep.
And I'm sure that has been great for your current couples, being able to get dressed there or have a room block there, that kind of stuff.
Yep, it's been great. They've been great for traffic. It's really an attraction because before, brides were having to shuttle from downtown, from the Hilton or 21C. Those spots are all conveniently located too, but the Manchester going in next door has really been a great asset to the area.
That's awesome. And then, of course, with what most people think of as the Distillery District as Goodfellas and Crank and Boom, some of those options, it's great if they wanted to do rehearsal dinner down there. I know there's like District 7 Social now that can do rehearsal dinners. And it's just a super fun environment, very casual, and keep everything super close together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great spot for photos also. Lots of cool backdrops.
Oh, yes, there's several murals down there. I didn't even think about that. So tell me a little bit about the space that you have. Like I said, most people have probably been there for a concert, so they can't really picture it as a wedding venue. Tell me a little bit about how your couples do their weddings there.
So it really is a blank slate. That's really one of the great things about it is that it's really versatile and you can really turn it into whatever you want. So I've had couples come in and they've left, no pipe and drape, just colored tablecloths and some flowers. So you can be as simple as that, or you can be as elaborate as pipe and drape the entire thing, and fancy dance floors and all the fun stuff that go along with weddings that everybody wants. But sometimes you're falling on a budget, so it's really a great space either way.
And I know most of the ceremony setups that I have seen have been in right as you walk in the front entrance. Is that typically where most of them are?
Yep. So we do kind of have that 2-room space. It's a wider hallway that connects the two. So there's 2 bars that kind of separate the 2 rooms. So typically that front entry foyer, that room will seat 200 theater style. So typically for 200 and less, they're going to do some kind of ceremony in the front and then move the reception to the back area.
Okay. And then if they do a cocktail hour, where do they typically do that at?
It's kind of flexible on whatever's going to fit what they're looking for. I've seen people do tents outside for cocktail hour. You can still kind of meet and mingle for smaller weddings on the ceremony side, but lots of different options.
Okay. And I think it's one of the venues, too, talking about it being a blank canvas, that every bride that walks in there sees something completely different.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's really cool to see all of the different setups.
Yeah, it really is.
And so if they are just doing a reception there, I know there's a lot of beautiful churches downtown for ceremonies. How many can you seat for a reception only?
Sure. And especially if you're doing a ceremony offsite, that's when it works really well to use that front room for cocktail hour. And then you can still pipe and drape off, your reception if you don't want people to peek at it too early. Then you can do your grand entrances and things like that. But for the main room, we can do 350 seated at round tables. And there's a little bit of fluctuation situation there.
I'm talking about the pipe and drape. I know Nadia with Nadia's Elegant Events has done some draping from the ceiling for several events that has just been incredible.
Phenomenal. She's awesome. Yeah, she's really transformed our space into some great things.
And then back to how many guests it can seat. How many tables and chairs do you have available for your couples?
Yeah, absolutely. So every rental comes with all of our table and chairs. So we can do 30 5-foot rounds, and then we have 400 white garden chairs that are included. And then we have 7 of the banquet tables. And so all of those are included with every rental.
Perfect. And then that's for like your DJ, your gift table, all of those fun things.
Yep. You can use it for whatever you want. Caterers, whoever needs a table, have a table, just to whatever we have there.
Now, I have seen other couples in the past where, again, every couple has a different vision of what the venue is going to look like. They will rent like a Chiavari chair from Purdon Rentals or the mahogany chairs. They're not required to use the white chairs.
No, they're not required, but of course, if you're on that budget, then that's nice to have those things included, so there's not that additional cost for a rental. And we're happy to work with Purdon's, to coordinate delivery and do what we can to assist on that end.
And talking about being on a budget, your Sunday through Thursday rates are phenomenal. And I'm definitely seeing a lot more weddings happening between Sunday through Thursday because it is more affordable than a Friday or Saturday at any venue. But also, I definitely think the pandemic took away a lot of tradition and what couples thought were requirements for their wedding. I have a couple, for example, that are getting married on Monday this year because it was his parents' anniversary.
Nice.
So, they talked about the Saturday or Sunday before, but that date was so special to them that they picked a Monday.
Nice.
And so I like that couples are doing that more now than ever.
Sure.
Talk to me a little bit about your pricing. We can start with Sunday through Thursday. How does that work?
So the price for a Sunday through Thursday is $3,500. That includes all the table and the chairs that we have on site. You get venue access at 10 a.m. and you get to stay until around midnight or so. We just try to work with brides and see what fits them best. We have the on-site parking, which is really a great attribute. And then we also, that daily price includes a security guard for the wedding, as well as the bartender and an on-site manager. And then we also include a sound tech. So any kind of DJ or anything like that that's going to be a plug-and-play situation, or if you just need a DJ and a microphone, then we'll have a technician on site for that.
That's good to know. I did not realize that.
Yep. Because we can also accommodate a full band. So if you need a full band or want to do something a little different, we had someone ask about dueling pianos. So there's all kinds of things that you can do for entertainment, and any additional things like that would be a little more for production, but we could include that for an additional fee.
Okay. And going back to the security guard, that is something I've talked with other venues about. That is becoming more popular for a lot of reasons. It's, there for the couple, there for the guests, there for the staff.
Sure.
And I really appreciate venues having them now. And then having the sound tech, that would, I'm guessing if a couple is going Sunday through Thursday to save a little bit of money, then they may not necessarily want to hire a DJ, and that sound tech could really help them with the sound system, not necessarily emceeing the event, but just to have some background music and stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
And then Friday and Saturday weddings are a little bit different because you have the bar included in those.
We do, yep.
Tell me a little bit about how the bar works.
Yeah, so this Friday and Saturday rate is $12,500, and that includes a 4-hour open bar for 200 people. So there's no limit on top shelf, bottom shelf. It's just all on the shelf. You're not going to get Pappy on there. That's not going to be included necessarily, but there's not really any kind of limitation set.
Okay, so I feel like the first question that a bride is going to ask is, what if I only have 150 guests? Is it the same price?
It is going to be the same price. It is going to be that minimum.
Okay. So that's 4 hours of open bar. That's the venue, and then all of the fun things that we mentioned.
Yep.
With
everything else is still included.
Okay.
Yep.
And they get venue access at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Okay. How do you do it if there is an event not booked the night before? Are they allowed to do rehearsal there, or is it kind of a case-by-case situation?
It's really a case-by-case basis. It is a little hard sometimes to go from, a rock show on Friday to a wedding on Saturday. So we just do our best to accommodate. If there's anything that we can do to assist with any kind of rental drop-offs or anything like that. So if you're looking for a guaranteed rehearsal spot or you need to decorate the night before, then we do need to look at calendars and kind of figure out a solution that's going to work for everyone.
If couples have listened to any of my podcasts, I'm a big fan of when the venue has the bar on site. Just so many logistics are taken care of with that. Do you all require your couples to get event insurance on top of the insurance you have already?
We do. Yeah,
Okay.
we have a minimum there for the liability purposes. And the great thing about our bar being on site is that they're all full-time staff. So they're not temps, they're not hired out. It's always going to be the same people. We have a wonderful bar manager who, only hires top quality candidates. And I mean, they're awesome to have in-house.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And then what are some of the signature drinks that you've seen couples doing lately? I feel like that has become super popular.
I feel like everyone always goes for the Moscow Mule. So we have that on draft sometimes. But we have 11 rotating taps. So occasionally typically we'll have a margarita on draft. But bride and grooms, they always come up with these most random things. And so we just pass those off to our bartender and he's like, okay, yep, we can make that work. So if there's anything fancy or funky that we need to bring in-house specially for it, then we can do that to accommodate whatever the drink is.
And I've definitely seen couples wanting to do at least one local beer recently. Is that something that you all can do?
Yeah. So like I said, we have the 11 rotating taps. And if there's something specific that they're looking for, then we'll look at bringing it in on draft. But we do a pretty good job at keeping that selection local. A lot of our selections are from Mirror Twin. They have a lot of good stuff going on. So we usually keep a few of those in-house.
For most weddings, I feel like April and October tend to be the busier months, especially when a couple wants a downtown venue and a downtown wedding, because they typically want to be involved with Keelan, or they're coming in for football. They live out of town. They're very excited to bring their family and friends in. Are those typically your busiest months, or how does it work with like your concerts and stuff?
Those are our busiest months. The spring and the fall really kind of amp up for us. So summer and winter are a little more open, easier to book for sure.
Okay. And then do you all have like central heat and air? What is the temperature situation?
We do. We have central heat and air. So it's pretty controlled as long as people will keep the doors closed.
Okay. Because I do not like being hot. So that's always one of my questions. I've got to know that I'm going to be comfortable.
Yep. It's going to be super cold in the morning, but that's what we're going to do to make sure it's comfortable in the evening.
Okay. If a couple is interested in touring the property and learning more, how should they reach out to you?
They can reach out to us at our bookings email. So it's bookings, bookings, bookings at manchestermusichall.com. All together, no hyphens or spaces. And then also if they want to visit the website, manchestermusichall.com, we have all of the details for each package are outlined on the website. So that kind of puts a visual to it and makes it a little easier than just spouting off some numbers.
One of the questions that I have been asking other venues is, do you require a security deposit or a damage deposit to be paid?
Yeah, so we actually do a $500 damage deposit. And so that would just cover if they were to chip a brick off the wall or knock a hole or something, that just covers a little bit of that.
And I think, too, that sometimes surprises couples that venues do ask for that. And it's kind of one of those, we've seen the things on wedding days. And yes, you think you know your guest, but when they have started drinking and they've been in an open bar situation, sure, and who knows what they had while they were getting ready that day, it is just there to protect everyone.
When you start with mimosas at 11 a.m., you don't know what the day's going to end with.
Absolutely. One of the other questions that couples always want to know is, can they get ready on site, or do they need to get ready off site and come ready to go?
Yeah, so we actually have, we have those 2 green rooms backstage. That's where bands typically get ready. So there's 2 rooms with a common area. You could do one for hair and makeup or one for bride and groom, however that works out. And we also have the 2 VIP rooms upstairs. So they're a little nicer. They look a little cleaner. So brides typically flock there as a nice get ready space. And then they'll throw the groom backstage where, there's a couple of comfy couches and room to hang out and chill.
And it's always nice for the bridal party to have a place to put their stuff while things are going on, so that they're not packed up and they can just have their phone somewhere because they don't have pockets in their dresses and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so those 2 VIP rooms upstairs, I've seen those be so versatile. grooms or bride and grooms have turned it into like a daycare or even a quiet place for Nana and Grandpa to escape the noise. Because the great thing about those rooms is they have garage doors, so you can open them and let the noise in, or you can shut them to shut it all out. So it's really just really a nice space to have, and it's a great space for brides and their bridesmaids to leave their stuff too.
Okay, if I want one of those VIP rooms for a concert, how do you get those?
Listen, once you watch a show from up there, you don't want to go back down with cattle because it's so nice. Renting the room comes with 10 concert tickets, so 10 of your friends with a private server and a semi-private bathroom. It's exclusive view of the stage. It's awesome up there.
Okay, we're going to talk about that after we get done with this. And then, do you have any specific vendors that you require your couples to use, or is it kind of an open vendor policy?
We do have a preferred list, just as a recommendation, kind of a starting point, but there's no requirements to use any of those guys. We're open. We've seen people do, food trucks at their discretion, or, set up a buffet or whatever works for them. There's no limitations there.
And I know that food trucks have definitely gotten popular for weddings, and it's not that I'm not a fan of them. It's just sometimes the venue that the couple has chosen is not always a good fit for them.
Yet.
So if it's something that you do want, I absolutely recommend asking your venue and seeing what the options are. But you have food trucks there all the time, and it works fantastic there.
Yeah, it's so nice because we do have those large metal doors, so it's really just easy access to get in and out. And, because we have a couple sets of doors, they can use one for an entrance, one for an exit. It's really nice and easy to accommodate.
And then, too, if you are listening to this and you are in the corporate world in some form or fashion, we talked about Sunday through Thursday rates for weddings. You also offer the space Sunday through Thursday for corporate events.
Yeah, any kind of event, really. Everyone thinks of us as a music hall, Manchester Music Hall, but we also do those private events also. So any kind of corporate employee appreciation or customer appreciation. We've had guys come in before and, throw a nice artist on stage, and it's a private concert for their employees. So it's really a flexible space in every aspect. A couple weeks ago, we hosted a cornhole tournament. So it's really a blank space with lots of possibilities.
So I have to know, have any of your couples met at a concert there and then gotten married there?
Really? That happens all the time. We have people come through all the time that say, we met here at a concert and just had a great time. And that's where the relationship starts. So they really kick off life with us.
So what you're saying is I need to go to more concerts. Got it.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, Whittney, thank you so much for joining me today. If you are listening to this and you want more information about Manchester Music Hall, you can go to their website, their Instagram, to also see all of their upcoming concerts. I've been to a comedy show there before. You said you had cornhole tournaments, all kinds of fun things here in downtown Lexington.
Keep an eye on our schedule because it's always changing.
For more information about Simply Love Studio or to schedule your wedding consultation, go to simplylovestudio.com.